Welcome everyone to the Gaming Bounty Board podcast. And today I'm joined by Broadside Games. I'll let you each introduce yourselves individually.
G'day, I'm Garth from Broadside Games, the co-founder, I suppose, lead programmer, lead animator.
Yep, I'm John. I co-founder as well, I suppose, and lead art design. We sort of do everything.
Yeah. I'm Dan, president of Snacks and lead audio.
President of Snacks. Like it. I love it. All right, so I guess I'll start off just kind of what was the general idea was starting the project, and what was I'm sure the vision kind of changed a lot over time or maybe it didn't, I don't know, with such a long development time.
Yeah, definitely changed from when we first started it, because like when we first started sort of doing things together, like us three would get together on the weekends and we'd like write things and film things for YouTube, and then like Bears in Space was going to be like a goofy, I don't know what it was going to be originally, but it was going to be like some sort of like YouTube sort of short thing.
Yeah.
But then at the same time we were sort of pivoting to working in games. Like John got a job in the industry, and then I sort of started picking up some game development myself, and then just decided to work together from there.
That's awesome. Yeah. What did John, did you work on anything, any big games before doing this?
Yeah. So just before I answer that, I just want to put it out there that there's no romantic starting point for this game. Like it started 7 years ago, but we have absolutely no idea how it started. It just was a continuation of us jamming
right.
ideas
That's
together.
funny.
So,
Awesome.
but yeah, so my first gig, I suppose, I worked on Hand of Fate 2, and then as like a prop artist, and then I went on to do the DLCs and stuff as an environment artist, and then I was the lead artist on the Forgotten City, which it's probably one of the bigger ones that came out recently. So
that's
real proud of that.
That's something I wasn't
acclaimed.
expecting at all.
Yeah,
I tried to actually tried to
style.
get the what's the original creator, Nick, yeah. I tried to get him on at some point, and then he was like, yes, but I'm busy at the moment, because it was like after it first came out, and I was trying to get him, and I actually need to follow up on that. But yeah, that game was awesome. It's cool,
very busy.
Cool to hear that you worked on that. That's pretty awesome. But yeah. So I mean, what are some of the biggest inspirations? I know like The Simpsons were definitely part of it.
I guess Simpsons. All those sort of shows we watched growing up, all the games we sort of played as well. As you can probably see from playing the game, like Time Crisis, Ratchet and Clank.
I just did the Time Crisis little section. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. How'd you go?
No, it was pretty good. I got messed up a few times by the bombs, but yeah, it was pretty cool. There's a lot of cool little references like that. I like quite a bit. The card Borganites got me. I liked that one.
You made the link to Small Soldiers with that?
Yep.
Yeah, awesome.
I love Small Soldiers. I was just talking to somebody on Twitter earlier today about Small Soldiers.
Yeah, I saw that as well, because I saw Zlin Bratsky. He retweeted something. I was like, that was the inspiration for the Card Borganites.
Oh yeah.
Yes, with like the long sort of dev period, we're just watching a whole bunch of different movies, playing a whole bunch of different games, and it was just like you'd come back from the weekend or something, and you'd see something real stupid, and it's like, man, we gotta make fun of this or like put it in somehow. So.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely, I mean it's a game packed with just references and Easter eggs to all these different things, which is cool. Like I just saw the Johnny Knoxville, the Jackass reference. That was funny, and that actually brings me to another thing. Like you guys somehow found this weird way to meld being a nostalgic for an older audience kind of thing, but yet it's could perfectly fit in as a kids game, because it's not really vulgar or violent or anything crazy out there. Like I mean, I also wonder how like, robots have skeletons, but
Cartoon.
We set out to do like oil and bolts instead of blood and guts, but in saying that, like it gets pretty brutal. Like like
Right,
all the
right.
gibs and the oil and yeah. But yeah, we sort of we just wrote stuff that we thought was funny to us, and then
Yeah.
because you can't write jokes for other people. And then we kept it clean because, like, you know, there's a place for comedy where you swear and stuff, but I don't know. I think it's funnier to not. And then, yeah, we hope that because with all the absurdity and all the goofiness, you know, kids can enjoy that on a surface level. You know, they
Yeah,
might
yeah.
not get every reference or whatever, but it's just like stupid fun. Like we
Yeah, I
just
think
wanted
that,
to
I
do
think
like, a stupid fun game.
yeah, and I think that allows for, I mean, a wider audience to play it, obviously, and more people to easily get into it. The barrier of entry on that side is a lot easier, you know, versus something like High on Life that it seems to get compared to a lot for some reason, even though there's like nothing at all the same.
Had zero influence on our
At all.
development. None of us have even played it.
Really, really.
I'm,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's a pretty
I'm sure
solid
it's
game.
I'm sure it's an okay
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
It
decent.
was I think it was one of
We
those
started-
things intentionally, like, just leave it until after we finish with bears before we play it, just to
That's fair. That's
not
fair.
get too disheartened. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
And just
good
for the
one.
record, like we started working on bears like years and years and years before.
Yeah. Oh, I
was
guarantee
announced.
it. I guarantee it.
It was pretty heartbreaking seeing the announcement and colorful, and you just knew like everyone was just gonna.
Yep. Hey, I mean, it
compare
was kind of like, have you guys played Journey to the Savage Planet?
Know of it.
Yeah, I think
You know of it?
Exploration. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, more like a
But
Metroid Prime kind of thing. But, you know, it was like when that came out, well, that was, I mean, it was really cool. But then High on Life was it kind of took the thunder of that, because like High on Life was a little bit more higher profile. And then you guys come out and it's still like High on Life's kind of stealing the thunder again. And it's weird because people make all these comparisons and it's like not the same thing. Stop it. But it's just like stealing the thunder, you know? But yeah, so just putting all these different references and Easter eggs and stuff was just something you guys always wanted to do from the very beginning.
Yeah, like I think Dan was saying before, like we have a sort of like a bit of a movie club. So it's like, yeah, you'd watch a movie over the weekend, and then I'll be like, yeah, this movie's sick, you guys are gonna watch it. And then like we'll all just watch the same things, and we'll all try and play the same games, and then we just try and like get the best things, and like put stupid references that we all love in it.
I can't really say how far exactly I am into the game. Because I've heard that it can be a pretty long game. Seems like.
Yeah, it wasn't. We didn't intend to make like a huge game. It sort of just happened.
Yeah, because it kind of has the optional. I mean, I would compare it to like maybe Spyro or something, where like the optional objective, the side missions are kind of like that, where they're little checklist type optional things. And I was talking to Zlim, and he said, you know, it could be like 20 hours or something if you're trying to do everything. And I was like, dang, really? I didn't expect that from like a, you know, kind of a smaller scale first-person shooter. You guys have such great production value that you would never guess that it was 3 people that made it. Like, it looks so good.
Thanks. Yeah, we about the game length, because it was like such a long process. We sort of, I guess you sort of lose sight of how long it is, but I mean, we really wanted to just make like an old school game where you come home, like put your Xbox or PS2 game in or whatever, and you get a solid experience from that from start to finish, and that's what I think we achieved. But the thing that we just didn't realize is like we had made, in our opinion, like a good solid length of critical path, but we didn't factor in like how long it would take for people to find all the secrets, and that's when it sort of blows out. If you're gonna, and it's just we just goofed on that. But like,
I mean that's always one of those like elements that you can never really plan for. You know, everyone plays games at different paces.
Yeah, and for like every comment we see about it being too long, like we see other people say it's awesome that it's so long, you know, and it's a good value. So, and it's one of those games too where it's like, you know, you can play for a bit a certain way, and then you're just finding secrets, but then it changes up, and then you can try out new guns, or you can like do different parts, and you know, like the gameplay is always changing. Like we're always keeping the player guessing. So it's not like the single note the whole way. And
I mean,
we just wanted to change it up as much as we could.
Yeah, it's changing a lot. I mean, there was like one of those, you know, old school, like the gun range type thing. I don't know if you'd call it like the arcade shooting the targets type of thing. And and then like the basketball one, which that just completely caught me off guard. There's just a bunch of stuff like that that's like super cool. And um, there had to be some influence from like Insomniac games in there with the gunplay and progression and stuff like that.
Sort of, I suppose.
Sort of.
Yeah. Like I don't really recall sort of like pointing to any sort of specific game with the gun upgrades. I suppose like Ratchet and Clank, yeah.
Yeah.
Would be the closest, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, even
You haven't really played them at all, have you, Garth?
No, not. I played a little bit of the one on PS4.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy. Yeah, because like I mean, a lot of the comparisons go into Ratchet and Clank, but I even think instantly it made me think like Sunset Overdrive, because it's like when you play that game and as you destroy things similar to Ratchet and Clank, like your weapon has a bar underneath it that levels up, and then your weapon changes. Very similarly.
Yeah, right.
It's one of those things that could be in your consciousness, you know what I mean, but maybe not a direct influence. It's not like an original idea, but like.
So Dan and I have definitely played Ratchet and Clank. Like
we're
the two that are like big fans of it. But Garth did the coding, and like I think you were saying, Brutal Doom was your key influence on how the guns actually feel and movement and play and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the guns are weighty. I like they're very weighty, and like it feels good, but it like felt different than like most first person shooters that you play, because like you're moving around, it's just like it's like bouncy, and I thought that was pretty cool, but it caught me off guard. One of those interesting things. But talk about weapons. Like there's so many weapons. Like I mean, just what's your favorite one of the weapons? I mean, I know there's even more than what I've seen, because like I'm probably only like halfway through the game, but man, there's a lot.
It's 26. Is that the number? For guns, and then
that's a good bit.
More grenades.
I think there's 8 or 9 grenades.
Really?
Don't
they only have the one, maybe 2 grenades. I think I might 2 grenades.
Yeah.
We'll give a cheat sheet.
Yeah, the total number in the gun dex is 33, so that's including grenades, weapons, and tools.
Okay.
But then, like the weapons, they got multiple stages. Some of them, so it's like even more.
Oh yeah, I love the shotgun. The laser or
scatter laser.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tier 2 version of that became my go-to towards the end. I never usually use shotguns
only go
at all
tier 2?
No, it goes to tier 3. Yeah.
It's just hard to get to tier 3.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Deletes anything it looks at.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, tier 2 is pretty powerful, so I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Especially when you wind up those extra shells with the ult shot. Pump it up.
Oh yeah. And
definitely the best tactic.
What was it? I know one of you saw it, but someone made a thing when they upgraded the carp gun.
Oh yeah, we all saw that. Don't worry.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was wild.
But yeah, I mean,
payoff.
Yeah, because I made the magic carp joke, and like, because I got it, like I bought it as soon as it was available. I was like, ooh, and I bought it, and then I was like, I don't like this that much, because I don't know how to use it. I don't know what I'm doing.
The weapon description when you open it in the gun dex gives a little bit of a hint as to what's going to happen, because we copied the Pokédex entry for Magic Carp, and then like rewrote it as the guns. Like gun dex entry.
Without even knowing it, I was pretty spot on.
Yeah,
look at
but it looks it makes me
like
it makes me want to play it
tier
too,
1
or use it more because of the upgrade. The upgrade looks fantastic. It's just like
yeah.
I love it.
The tier 1 is the Magikarp colors, and then tier 2 is actually the Gyarados colors. So it's like another nod.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
It's been cool seeing people like farm kills on it and work out strategies to sort of weaken enemies with like a different gun and then switch to the carp gun at the last second. But still, it's not
anyone would do it.
Takes so long. It's cool. It's definitely worth it.
So, I mean, outside of other games, movies, stuff like that, what is like the the biggest goal or inspiration for the way the story's being told, and like your bear friend, and also like. You guys chose to put in a transformation where you become a bear and get to go all hack and slashy. I saw like a video just a few months ago about how there's not enough transformations in games, and then as soon as I saw that happen, I was like, "Hey, look, more transformations! There we go."
Yeah, it's funny. I suppose it's funny you mentioned story when we sort of like crammed that in it last. It was a couple of years into development. We're like, oh, maybe we should have an actual story for this game.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
years
it's a
ago, we were
loose
sort of
story.
saying,
Yeah.
we started off saying, like, we don't want a story. That's going to be like a joke about it. Like, there's no story. And then
Yeah.
through a bit of testing, it's like, man, we need a story. We're going to find something to sort of.
I mean,
shoehorn
we'd sort of
into
figured out story points and whatnot, like things that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
wanted to do, like the Grobian double cross. I mean, I don't think you're up to that
Ooh.
part yet, but
No,
like
I don't think so.
we had,
Wow.
yeah, we had just. Oh, should have played
all
it
good.
before
It's all
doing the
good.
podcast. But yeah, like
All
it's
good.
yeah, and I think like because it was such a long cycle, so we were sort of just working on the game on the weekends for the first 4-ish years, and then we got funding. So within the first 4 years, we were just making games like a sort of more of a traditional boomer shooter, like just levels, like nothing really expanded. And then when we got the funding, you know, that's when like it expanded and we're able to make what we actually wanted to make. So, and that's when we had to sort of go back and retrofit some of the story and stuff. And like we had like the general idea in our head. It's just we weren't really. It took us a bit to execute it. So, but
Right,
it's just we wanted it to just be like a compulsive adventure. You know, like Bertana sees a flashing object in the distance and she goes there, and it's like, yeah, you're trying to get back.
Yeah,
to Earth.
you have
There's
enough story to
real
get
rush.
like from point A to B kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, but it's just a chaotic, fun time. Like we really just wanted to put fun first and not let anything get in the way of that. So
definitely achieved that. It's an absolute blast, like from everything that I've played. I mean, it's just fun constantly. What made you guys choose to go with like a bullet hell kind of thing with how insane that can get?
Ooh.
I remember hating hit scan enemies.
That's
like,
fair. That's fair.
Ooh.
I think
I don't remember
with the inspiration.
That's before
What's that,
Returnal.
Oh, Returnal, yeah.
It was
I think
Skyforce.
Yeah.
I think we were playing Skyforce relentlessly for a bit. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, hey,
I can't remember a conscious decision to sort of commit to Bullet Hell. But it happened at some point, I suppose.
I love it. Dude. A lot of it's we just kind of like threw this in and it just works. I love it. Reminds me, I was watching I was watching one of the new Borderlands podcasts or whatever, and the entire development of Borderlands 1 was basically we didn't have that much time, so we just made it work and we just kind of threw this together. That's kind of what it reminds me of. But yeah, I mean, Bertana and like human bear combination. What's up with that?
Like Altered Beast.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
That's I think that would be like the original inspiration. Yeah.
I used to drink beers and try and get through that game. That guy was getting more muscular as he picks up the bits and
yeah. Okay.
Power up. That's where it came from.
Yeah.
I liked it. Okay. All right.
But I suppose I do remember sort of wanting some sort of like like berserk mode, like in Doom, I guess. And then I guess it just made sense to make that Bertana.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting, to go in there and be practically playing like Devil May Cry or Splatterhouse or something, like walk in there and it's just and you just start I was like, what? Okay, that's cool. And you guys really kind of paced it through there pretty good. Like there's parts, where you get to do it quite often. The Godzilla one was great, and the little side mission.
See a lot of praise for that one, which is funny because that one it started out a bit rougher. Oh, sorry, here you go, Dan.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's one of the oldest gags in the game, I think, as well. That Godzilla section.
Yeah.
Ages, yeah.
Yeah, it went through some revisions. It was a bit slower at first.
A lot slower, yeah.
Yeah. But, after
the original idea was we were going to do the 50s Godzilla. So it's like real slow, like the movies, and then be the 70s, and he gets more powers and stuff. But 50s is just too slow. Too slow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It turned out really cool. But that's sort of just game dev, right? Like you just throw ideas at the wall and iterate until
see what works.
Fine paced. Like it's either works or it doesn't.
I love how it's such a, I don't know what you would call it, but just the overall tone. Like you said, you're just focusing on putting fun first, and it's colorful, it's wacky, it's a good time, it's just like a blast all the way through. You know, I like that. I like that kind of humor. Like it's entertaining, it's fun. It's you sit down and play it and laugh, and something just super fun about that. And I guess that's where the kind of Saturday morning cartoon or the Simpsons type stuff comes from.
Definitely, we're all big American Dad fans too.
Okay, I don't hear that one. I don't hear that one much anymore.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty good show. But yeah, it's exactly that.
Newer seasons are a bit rough.
I haven't watched it in a long time. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Is it still going right now?
Yeah, it's still going. I think they're in the 18th season or something now, but you've seen little bits, and it's like still funny enough that
Right.
Mm.
That's kind of where the Simpsons is kind of went by now. Like it's still great. I love the Simpsons. I've been watching them my whole life, but they're kind of running out of ideas with what they're on 38 or 39.
I think like when you've got a show
Something like that.
that long, like
Okay.
the original writers and stuff, like they're influenced by something else, and then over time you end up with writers that are influenced by The Simpsons, and then that's when you sort of just get that, like nothing's really breaking out anymore. So
Yeah, and it starts just
I
kind of
don't think you
repeating
could ever do
itself,
it
or-
forever.
Yeah, no. I mean, they've went way longer than I think anybody would have expected them to keep going.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised they haven't capitalized and tried to make a new game in so long. Weird.
Yeah,
remake Hit and Run. Everyone
Yeah,
would
they
be
could
happy.
remake Hit and Run. Did you see
everyone's been waiting for.
Did you see the guy who like basically remade it on his own, but he can't release it or whatever?
Yeah, I watched that. I think he's a Kiwi dude, actually.
Was it done in Unreal?
Maybe. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
in Unreal.
He had to There's
Yeah.
no access to any source code at all, so he had to
Mm.
remodel everything in Unreal, from the ground
Pretty
up.
cool.
It's pretty impressive. Like it's pretty cool. Nice visual lift. It would be so cool if they did do that. And it's one of those weird things where that they could make so much money. It makes sense. Everybody loves it, but it's just it's probably not going to happen because it just makes too much sense.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's very annoying seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you look at Nintendo and be like, just release Ocarina of Time on the Switch. Do that. And
Or
you'll
or
make
Wind
millions.
Waker, or
Yeah, it's like there's these really obvious sort of things that would work, but for some reason they just don't want to do it.
well, I guess now they're making sure that people are getting it through the subscription because they can play Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask that way. I guess
Yeah, true.
the originals, but
At least release the HD version that was on the 3DS. Make it look better.
Yep. I have that one, and that one's really good, I think, in my opinion.
Mm.
Yeah. So you worked on Forgotten City and some other stuff. Did you guys work on anything before this, or was this your first ever project? First
Yeah,
project.
first ever.
That's both of us,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you
I
guys
did some modding back in the day.
Do you guys
It's,
see? I mean, obviously it's fairly recent, but I mean, do you guys see? I mean, you guys have ideas for anything else going in the future? You guys have? I'm sure you do.
Good.
I'm sure you do.
Too many ideas, unfortunately. It's the curse of being a game dev is you got so many things that you want to do and probably not enough
I'm
time to do them all.
I'm sure you could talk all day about how many things that probably didn't make it into Bears in Space.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. A lot of stuff got
Yes.
cut from it as well, just because it's too long.
Yeah, there was,
the code,
Perfect.
think you
Just
read today.
take all that and just compile it into a DLC. There you go.
Yeah.
All the cut content is an expansion.
Mm.
yeah, we had
Um,
the Boddingham level, which I think is probably the next level for you. It's a big medieval town and sweeping landscapes and whatnot. But it's
It
one of
might
our
be
longest
where I
levels.
am.
Mm.
You'd know it if you saw it. It's
Bright and
green
colourful.
everywhere.
Okay, maybe it isn't that one, and maybe it's right before that one.
Yeah, so it's one of the bigger levels, and we had a dance battle
Oh,
that was Space Channel 5 that we had to cut, which was
Yeah.
a bummer, but man, it just made the level way too big. So
Mm.
yeah,
it's
that
definitely some
sounds
cool
fun
stuff.
though. That would have been cool.
It was cool. And then
Kill your
half the
babies or whatever.
Yeah. Half the playtesters weren't very musically or rhythmically inclined. So it's
Mm.
It was really cool for like half, and then like really frustrating for the other half.
I guess
because
that,
it was a crit path thing as well. Yeah, it was just
okay.
yeah, it's too much work to sort of make it optional, and level was already way too long as it was, so it just made sense to cut it.
Dan did write a pretty rad little tune for it though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I used it elsewhere in the game. The carnival fight.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, Freakside, I think.
Yeah, in the freak show.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And the ghost, I think, is watching it on the TV too. He's got the.
Oh yeah, that reference
mansion.
makes no sense
T-Raw.
anymore. There you go.
Yeah.
He's like,
It's
oh
like
yeah.
There's so much dialogue, like it's all there and ready, recorded to go, and it's just all been cut. So maybe we'll make an
We
appearance.
might as well
again at
use
some
it in
point.
some way, right? Yeah. Man, go back to like Spyro for a second. The what's his name? The main vendor.
Big Spendley.
I think so. Yeah,
You're
the guy
talking
you
about
buy
Spyro's
ammo and
vendor?
weapons and stuff from.
Yeah, Vic.
Yeah, Vic. Yeah, he reminds me of Moneybags from Spyro. I don't know if there was anything there, but that he kind of reminded me of Moneybags.
I think Vic's like his mechanical inspiration was Volgrim from Darksiders.
Okay.
Yeah, the
okay.
out of the ground was something like make him like Volgrim.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Volgrim.
But then obviously his visual design is Stan from Monkey Island.
Okay. I haven't played much Monkey Island. It's something I need to do. But okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected Volgrim to be inspiration, but I guess it makes sense. I like that. One of my favorite shopkeepers. Do what?
I just said 2 out of 3 of us love Darksiders 1, so big inspiration.
Who doesn't like Darksiders 1?
Not me. Darksiders 2 is much better. Yeah.
Click. No, I'm just kidding. Darksiders 2 is the best. Yeah, I agree. Darksiders 2 is the best.
Yeah,
like
recently,
absolutely the best.
I just recently played through Darksiders 2 again. It was awesome. I don't think I've ever finished it until a recent playthrough I finished up like a month ago, and it was just amazing. It still holds up so well.
Mm-hmm.
Very solid.
I got the remaster on Xbox, and I actually bought it on Switch as well. Plays really well on Switch too. But yeah, it definitely holds up. Like it's just one of those games, which I think has a lot to do with the art style.
Yeah, it's definitely
looks
really nice.
If you got like a good art style and enough character and something that's like your game's definitely gonna last like a long time. Like it's gonna be good for it's gonna look good for a very long time. Hopefully it'll still be good for a long time as well. But it definitely is gonna look good for a long time.
Yeah, that is the advantage of having stylized art. Like, because if you go realistic, it looks realistic while that technology is
Then 10 years go by. Technology. Rough.
Yeah.
To go as big as we did, like we had to just think smart about the art too. So it's a lot of sieved detail that isn't really there. So
right. How I mean, just I don't know, spiel about the art. Like, I can't think of anything specific, but I mean, just like what is? I mean, obviously, I know the things that you were kind of inspired by, but I mean, how was it just developing the art? I mean, sure, it was an absolute blast to do it.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a second, but my dog is barking at nothing, so I'll be back.
Oh, you're good. You're good. All good.
But you can jump in. One of the bigger breakthroughs was sort of looking at Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time, whatever it was, because like that game just has the perfect art style, basically.
I still need to play that one. I still have to play the Insane trilogy all the way through.
Yeah, with the art, like from the very early days to the anger of Garth, like sort of made some decisions, like with the characters. Like if you look at them, next to none of them have feet or legs, and it like halves animation time in theory. No legs.
That's fair.
Yeah, it was beneficial at first because like I didn't know how to animate before this game, so like I was learning as I was going, and then to not have to animate legs was beneficial because it was just one less thing to think about. But now I'd like to animate some characters with legs.
Too bad.
You want leg
Yeah.
characters now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and like
Yeah.
none of them except for like one saucy bot has lips, I suppose. So like we didn't have to worry about any like lip sync. I mean, Vic does, but
Right.
yeah. And then just like, you know, you move so quick through the levels, you just have to plan it out. Like I sort of approached it with like a 30-70 mindset where like 70% of the detail is out of reach of the player. Because the worst thing you could do is like make this really awesome, really dense scenery, and then the players running around and getting snagged on everything. So like I think we did a really good job of just making it sort of smooth arenas and everything. You're not just running into pipes and poles and rocks and everything like that. Yeah, so that's sort of how we approach it. And then just, you know, the less detail, obviously there's got to be detail, but the less detail that's there, the more you can get away with. So, you know, all our rocks are like fairly flat. You know, there's some surface noise and sculpted detail, but then, you know, because they're at the level that they are, you can actually blow them up, and it doesn't really, is the other dog now, you blow them up quite large, and you can sort of get away with that, and you can reuse it, and you don't really see the tiling as much. And the same goes for like all of our buildings, and you know, just the goofy sort of shapes and everything. You know, it's if you make one house or whatever, and then each angle is slightly different, then that one house is now 4 houses, right? Because you can rotate it and scale it. And yeah, so it's just about like thinking about your limitations and then building around that. And that's like what I set out to do from the start. And I think the other thing too was like with performance, I think overall, I think we like nailed it. Like we had a couple of people that have had some issues, but like overall, I think it's well optimized. And like, we sort of built that from the start in mind. Like one of my biggest fears was like we get to the finish line, it's like, oh shit, how do we make this run? But no, because we sort of planned it from the start, turned out really well. And the way you build stuff and don't go crazy with materials and everything, because it's, you know, like when you make that vertical slice, which is something we did like way earlier, you sort of set the bar for the art. And you just got to think about it. So it's like, how could we replicate this over the rest of the game? And then, you know, that's what we set. Because I mean, we would love to have had crazy more VFX, better lighting, more real time craziness. But like at the end of the day, like we're a team of 3.
Yeah, 3 people.
Just had to cut corners. So yeah, and we definitely brought on some contractors here and there to help out in a few spots. But like 99% of what you see on that screen is just the 3 of us. So gotta be real.
Yeah, it's still insanely impressive that it's just 3 of you. Like that's still when I found, because like I didn't know there was only 3 of you until after I started playing the game. So I started playing the game, and then I think it was when I watched Slim's video. Well, no, I bought the game, so I watched Show's stream of the game, and then I was like, oh, okay, I forgot that was out. And because I had seen it in Slim's like upcoming Boomer Shooter video, I was like, that I've not heard of. That looks cool. Definitely playing that. Then I watch his stream and I was like, it's out today. Then I go and it's like $20. It's on sale for 16. I'm getting it. And then here I go and I start playing it. And then I think I watched Slim's review, and I watched G-Man's, which it surprised me that he praised you guys so much. It really did. Love G-Man. Just talked to him on Quad Damage the other day. But it caught me off guard. I was like, dang, he's super positive about this. That was really cool, you know, and like he freaking loved it. And we talked a bit about it on there. And when I started playing it, and then I saw that, and I was like, 3 people? Really? This game, like, in my opinion, it genuinely looks like it could be, it's like bordering almost like visually AAA, you know, in my opinion. Like it's above indie, you know what I mean, in feel and look, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate the compliment, but it is nowhere close. It's AAA. But like there is,
what we'll go
we consider ourselves like a B film version, like in the video games. So like I don't really like the triple I in wording or whatever, but like we're aiming for triple B if you're gonna call us anything. Like, but yeah, it's just you just gotta plan it out. Like you can't. You know, so from an artistic side, like all of our enemies, I think I spent on average maybe 2 days making them, from drawing them up to sculpting, texturing, and then swung it to Garth and he took over, and then Dan slapped in the sounds later on. But it's like just setting hard limits. Like like I would love to go wild, you know, in detail and whatnot. But yeah, you just keep it consistent, and we sort of kept that cartoony everything. And
Yeah.
we're able to get away with it. So
I mean, for you to say that, like, you wish you could have went like more in detail with a lot of different things, and I think that goes with what you were saying with giving things that just are like surface detail. That, like, if you look really hard into it, it's probably not as detailed as it looks. But like as you're running through a level, it looks stunning. Like it looks very highly detailed. And I haven't actually went up and just like looked at the texture like I've done in other games because I'm just having too much fun just running through it and shooting things. But I'm sure, given that you guys did that, if you get up close, you're like, oh, well, that's a little bit more of a, like looking texture. But like at a distance, that's all that really matters. You know what I mean? As long as it looks good as you're going through and having a good time. Like I said, it looks very, very good, And
the textures, I mean, they hold up when you look at them from the start, like if you're there. But like if we're talking, like if we wanted to go AAA, like, the brick walls are going to be brick walls. So we're going to sculpt them. Like everything's going to be there. Like, it's just, we got creative with tiling. There's a lot of breakup. You won't just find sharp corners or anything, but it's just, you just got to be smart about it, like, and I don't think there's any part where it's just like flat and dull. Like I think we nailed that. Like you just got to cut corners, like it would have been awesome to have that's like just environmental things firing off, like in the D-Day, spoiler, there's a D-Day level, but we did like a couple of things. We got ships in the ocean, and then planes flying overhead, and then there's like one scene where there's a plane crash and stuff. But it like would have been awesome. You run along, and then a crater forms around you and blows up, and then and like as awesome as that would have been to see, but then we got to start thinking about like how are we going to optimize that, and then there's just all these other layers that I think you set that balance of like, this is just a goofy game, cartoony in nature in every way, and then we just ran with it. So worked out.
There's games like that. I think I like more anyway. Just like the humor, the cartoony nature of it. Like I said, mentioned Sunset Overdrive before, or Spyro, or like Destroy Humans, that kind of stuff. Like there's something about the humor, the just colorful nature of all that. It's just a lot more fun, a lot more lighthearted, easy to get into. And I think, since you guys are like, such a small team, so, kind of indie and being placed within the boomer shooter space, you kind of do look almost, like a AA in comparison to a lot of boomer shooters, kind of, you know what I mean? Because like because of the colorful, more poppy kind of like nature of things. Do you guys consider your game a boomer shooter?
I would say so. Like I consider like a boomer shooter to be just any game that's sort of fast, like movement based, no reload in weapons or anything like that. Sort of more action focused. Like I know there can be some people that don't like the term boomer shooter, but just it's just more of a semantics thing, I suppose. But
but it's an official term now, so.
From a design point of view, like the boomer shooter is very much just like going to an area, and then you've got to like figure out how to clear out that area, and then you're basically conquering zones as you progress through, and that's pretty much what we do. But like I think like from the day one, like we wanted it to be an adventure, so like a boomer adventure. I don't know, like it's boomer, like it's so it's getting out there for the early special.
I mean,
like the boomer shooter sort of genre, I think it's not really something we set out to make.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like it makes sense that it plays like a boomer shooter, but we weren't trying to make like a boomer shooter. That makes sense.
And just so everyone knows, you guys were you got the whole idea and probably in development of this was way before that was even a thing. So
I think Dusk was out and it was pretty popular.
Yeah,
Dusk came out in 20. When did it come out again?
Yeah, for a while now.
16, 17, something like that.
Yeah,
so we've been working on it for 7 years. That sort of pans out.
That lines up.
Yeah, I guess so. Time.
I think it's 2016.
Forget how long it's been since Dusk came out. Jeez.
Really kicked everything off.
I know.
Crazy success in that game. It's awesome.
I actually got it when it was in like early access, and I was playing it on a crappy laptop that could barely run it, and I was like playing it as each thing came out, and I was like, "Ooh, this is cool!" And it runs as if it was as old as it is, like is pretending to be because it's on my crappy laptop. But there was a question with the just kind of basic bots that like more sometimes they shoot at you, sometimes they charge at you, but they kind of make a noise, right? Like a screaming noise. And I'm just kind of curious. Are any of you fans of
Not the
Nazi
not the
zombies?
Call of Duty zombies. Yeah.
No, so all those zombie sounds are just John and Garth. Like just going, "Ooh," and you just modulate and sound and chucking it in. I've never played COD Zombies, and
Well,
like,
go
I
play
keep
COD
hearing that.
Zombies, and you will understand why that everyone says that. Because first time it was like, and I was like, huh? Okay, hold on. Maybe it's not the same. And then I go again, and I'm like, that sounds pretty much exactly the same. And it makes me laugh every time, just because I'm like, that's funny. Like it's such
That
a
was
weird coincidence.
No, it was an intentional reference in that case. That's good.
Yeah. It's funny,
it?
but like, because we do call those bots zombie bots because they're just like
Okay.
they're just mindless, like they just come at you,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So it's a funny coincidence on top, I suppose.
Yeah. But no, I promise you, I hadn't heard of it until everyone started bringing it up, and was like, oh, okay, fine,
Mm.
though, right?
It's it sounds pretty crazily similar. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember early on in development, I think you were doing the word idea, and I think if I remember correctly, I was like way against it. I was like, don't think this is stupid. Just do beeps and boops and shit. And then you overrode me, and I'm glad you did because it's hilarious and everyone really resonates with it. So there's definitely a time I was really, really wrong.
Yeah, because they do it's because they do the like I can't do it, but it's like that weird screech like yell kind of thing every single time, and I swear to you, it gets a giggle out of me every time. I just never expect it every time. I'll tell you another thing that got a giggle out of me was the Rambo robot. And I actually didn't notice. I was watching someone else. I can't remember. It was someone's video I was watching where apparently it will do quotes from Rambo when it dies, which I have not heard. So they must be kind of quiet.
I think it might just get lost in the chaos, but I think
possible,
there's a handful of lines. Like one's "I'm sorry, Colonel," as he dies.
Adrian.
Adrian.
Okay.
It's not even Rambo. It's just Sly.
Yeah. Just sly quotes. That's fair. Okay. It's still cool though. I wasn't expecting that either.
I've heard people enjoying the shooter bots when they go "dang it" as well.
Yeah.
Like they'll kill them and like the streamers will like mimic the shooter bot dying. It's just funny to see like the stuff that's like it's just normal to us because we've been with it for years and years and years. Yeah, and then like you're watching other people and they sort of get a kick out of these like sort of mundane things. It's like, oh, I suppose it is kind of funny, isn't it?
Right.
Like it's so much of that was just throwaway stuff, just like throw something in to give it a bit more, I know, variation when it dies, and yeah, it's just like Garth said, it's just funny to see people go, "Ah, that's cool." When none of us have ever really thought about it more than have something in there.
Yeah.
Right. Was there any inspirations for like the enemies, the enemy variety, or just your typical, variety? I mean, they're a little different because I mean, like there's one, what are those things? The just crazy fast little saw blade handed dudes that just run at you. They caught me off guard one time. I was running around. I didn't even see them. I was running around like crazy, shooting enemies, and then I turn around and they just like pinned me in a corner, and they killed me. And I was like, no.
Yeah, they are a good one. That was sort of a little inspired by Serious Sam because there's bomb versions of those bots, and there's sort of like the dudes in Serious Sam that had got the bombs on their hands. Yeah.
Like art wise, I think for the most part it was just like old pulp novellas. I would just go and try and find as many as I could, and then we sort of just like looking at it like a sport game where you're like looking down on your field of dudes and you're like, what are we missing? So it's you come up with like the Omnibot, which you haven't also come up to yet. There's a big boy and he just like spams shit out everywhere, and it's like we needed to plug a hole that would do that, and then and that's sort of how you come up with like the enemy designs, like you need to figure out what's missing from the combat.
What does he do?
Looks like a giant egg, and he.
Oh yeah,
I think he first in the D-Day level. Yeah, that's.
Oh, really? That's the first time? Oh, well, okay. Maybe there's another enemy that's kind of similar. Because there's one that like will sit there. He's kind of like more of a round bot, and he shoots stuff out the top.
The turret. Yeah, he's got a shield. That guy.
Like a bubble shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. maybe.
So that
Yeah.
it's a bigger dude. He's
Okay.
yeah, just you'll know when you see it.
Well, I know
But,
that turret one you're talking about, like that just usually sits on a higher position and stuff like that. But there's another one that like he moves around and he's like round and shoots stuff out at you at a distance, but he's almost egg-like, but I don't think it's the same guy.
Big and yellow.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe,
the only
maybe it appears somewhere else.
I'm pretty sure it's only in D-Day, but you'll see it. It takes up like his projectiles he shoots out will take up most of the screen.
Hmm.
You'll definitely know when you see it.
I don't know which one I'm thinking of in anyway. But I know you got the bots in there with the shields when they run around, which just like they're like the damn
we had
jackals.
Had the shields
Halo.
to sort of we sort of wanted to encourage a bit of weapon switching there because like the shields are only affected by laser weapons or melee weapons, just to sort of like take you out of your comfort zone if you've just going to stick with one sort of gun, or we force you to use a different gun.
Yeah. I mean, you try to like shoot a bunch of enemies with your auto. Is it auto laser or
auto phaser?
Auto phaser. Can't remember these names. Yeah. Via auto phaser, you're sitting there trying to like take out a bunch of enemies, and then a bunch of them pop up, and then it's just bouncing off, and you're like, dang it. So then you get scatter laser's a good one. That one really clears them out. That's just my go-to.
Yeah.
Shotguns are great. You guys made a great shotgun. That's always a good thing for a shooter. You gotta have a good shotgun.
That's absolutely true. There's another shotgun that you'll get later on. Well, hopefully you get anyway. It's it's more classic, like super shoddy, double barrel.
Dang, you got a quad barrel in there?
No quad barrel.
Decker barrel.
Oh. You got a Decker barrel rocket launcher.
Yeah. Because is that the one that you have to hold it down?
No, this one.
That's a tri-shot or something, right?
Yeah, tri-shooter. Yeah.
You'll see the Decker
weapons, man.
later in the game.
Okay.
You won't. You can't miss it as well.
Can't miss it. Okay. All right. I'm pretty excited that there's a double barrel in there, though. That's nice. Super shotgun. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. I don't know. You guys keep you spouting out your spoilers, but it's making me more excited. It's not actually spoiling anything.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, John, I did get the game to finally work. You guys released the update, and for some reason it wouldn't allow me to update the game. And then I uninstalled more stuff to make more space on my computer. I had like 15 gigs available. I hit it. It still wouldn't update. So I had to uninstall the game and reinstall it, and then now it works. I don't know what happened. Because I did the like file check or whatever, and it wasn't like corrupted or anything. So I had no idea what happened there. Some kind of bug in the system.
Doesn't it like need the 20 gig or whatever it is to install? Even though it's installed, I think it still requires that sort of memory to like unpack and install it. Because I think you were saying you only had 8 gig free.
Yeah, and then I uninstalled more, and I had like around 20 or less or something. But even after I uninstalled more stuff, it still wouldn't download. Don't know why.
Pick it up with Steam.
Yeah,
I think that's an us thing, but
glad
it's working.
Yeah, when I uninstalled it and reinstalled it, it's all good now. I was playing it just before I started talking to you guys. But
awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. What was it for you, John? What were some different hurdles, since you also worked on Forgotten City, like, because I guess that was your most recent project prior to this, right? Yeah, what was some different kind of hurdles between this and that, or, was it weird going from that to this?
I mean, it's a completely different style, which was good because I was sort of working on this in the morning and then like after work and then like Forgotten City through the 9 to 5 or whatever. And just being radically different styles made it easier to sort of keep motivated on both. But Forgotten City was made with a team of 3 too. So like
is it only 3 as well?
Yeah. So it's
jeez.
Similar sort of dynamic. Like I think like what I really like about having a small team is like you just gotta get in there and get it done. Like you can't really complain about not knowing how to do something and palming anything off. Like we're all in it together. Like there's a problem, one of us has got to deal with it. Like it's cool. It's just like that's the same way for Forgotten City. Like like for the most part, I really enjoy level design and and environment art, and I had to do all the characters in the Forgotten City, and like I hate anything to do with making characters. I hate it so much, but like there's no choice. And then like,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. Like you're doing it for the betterment of the team and stuff. And yeah, it's just cool. It's just cool to work in like a small group. I mean, we've got plans to make the team bigger, not to the like AAA crazy size, but yeah, like we want to get bigger and still retain that small indie core foundation, I suppose.
Yeah, I think most studios work better as, work a lot better with, a smaller amount of people, it seems like, and I think most people
you can just
say that. Yeah.
You can just pivot. Like you can, if something isn't working, you don't have to worry about feelings because like we've known each other for, and Forgotten City dudes too. I was like, we'll chat with them and we're all on the same page. So if something doesn't work, you just kill it.
Cool.
I'd say the one big difference was on the Forgotten City, we were working with a historian from Cambridge other historians that were digging up Pompeii remains and stuff, and it was awesome. It was really cool to do.
Oh yeah.
But you had to like constantly make sure everything was historically correct. Whereas in this game, it's like, who cares?
Doesn't matter. Yeah. You don't have to worry about that.
Every time. So
do whatever you want to do. Yeah.
There was no anxiety. Yeah, because it was like, I mean, there's one thing I made. If you played Forgotten City, there's a toilet that I'm really there's an ancient Roman toilet that I'm really proud of because I don't think any other 3D game, first-person ancient Roman game ever has made an ancient Roman toilet as accurately as I have. And that is my claim to fame. I want that on my IMDb or whatever. Because and I had historians come on and like.
I don't think that I inspected the toilet. I have to go back and do that now.
Oh, it's like filled with graffiti that we borrowed from like Pompeii and stuff, and like all the insults and everything. Yeah, it's just real cool to sort of like do that sort of thing.
Is there just
you sort of realize
how many like in multiple different ones, or just one specifically that you're talking about?
It's one public toilet. In the game in the hub area.
Maybe I just never went to the toilet.
Yeah, you don't have to. Like, it's there purely for, like, there's all these people living there. Like, they got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, I've been planning on playing it again, so I will go and I will hunt down the toilet and I will find it and I will understand because I love that. I love that game. And by the way, congrats on that game, by the way, also because that was a good one as well. I absolutely love that game. But to come back to Bears in Space for a second, Dan, you did the music and stuff?
Yeah. So all the music and audio, and then these guys sort of bullied me into doing a bit of coding as well. So I ended up doing. I was sort of learning coding to be able to implement all the music and all the sounds rather than sort of send it to Garth and say, "Hey, make this work."
Yeah.
I know, like John said, being a small team, like you can sort of cross skill quite a bit, and you have to learn other things to be able to prop up other parts of the team. But just the general sort of what I sort of generally learned by making the music player and attaching all the sounds allowed me to then assist more with Garth and help with some of the more mundane stuff, like a handful of weapons, a couple of the enemies as well. I was able to sort of jump in and prototype and then get them all the way to sort of be ready to go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, all the music and audio was me. Yep.
Okay. So I mean, what was that like overall? Oh yeah, no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, something else that was like super handy with Dan leveling up too was like towards the end of it, like I was just full steam ahead, like just trying to get all the art done and all the levels. And it was just really like super beneficial that we had all these side missions and side quests and stuff to be able to give it to Dan, knowing that he'd be able to smash it out. It was just because like you had to teach yourself to level up, and that's what that small team is. Like it's just worked out really well for us. You trust each other to fucking do it right too.
Right. Yeah. And it's a learning experience for everybody.
Absolutely, yeah. And like even something that was sort of said before was like when we're coming up with some of these ideas, sometimes it's like just a loose idea. John will say, I want something like this to go. What can I say? It's not going to be a spoiler for you. That doesn't matter.
Go for it. I'll just hit the reset button and just like it's okay.
Well, there's one in particular. It's just like a massive waste of time, and so I had the idea, sort of, put it together in the way that it'd flow through, and then that would go through iterations of John and Gus seeing it, saying, that line there's kind of lame, or that one didn't really land. So we'd always be bouncing back and forth. So it was like every joke would sort of go through the process of being written, and then be ripped apart by the other two, which was a good thing because, like John said before, like we're all mates. Like there's no hard feelings or anything. It's best idea in the room, sort of wins for it.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was really cool to be able to sort of work on that and then just go back and have that revised and then get it to what it is now when it sort of shifts.
Yeah. Was there any specific inspirations for the soundtrack and stuff?
No, I just sort of wrote what I wanted to write, to be honest. Like I've always been in music, I've always played in bands,
Yeah.
did a lot of touring and stuff when I was younger, and yeah, I was just sort of being able to have the full creative freedom to write what I wanted to write, and obviously, like keep it within the realm of the game, but
Right, right,
like
right.
it's a cartoon universe, and
Yeah.
sort of had free reign to do whatever the hell we wanted with it, which was really cool.
I love that.
Um,
That's, I mean, you've all said that, and I think that's cool to, just with the tone of the game, you just have the creative freedom to do whatever you want. I think that's cool. I think it's just the freedom to do what you want with the music, the visuals, the gameplay, the story, and everything. That's awesome. I mean, that gives, when you're allowed so much freedom, it's just, everything comes together pretty well, I think.
It's a
there was, like,
varied
one thing-
sort of. Oh, sorry, you get it.
I was just gonna say, like on the music. So you're in the dungeon level at the moment. If you just did the time crisis thing,
Yes.
yeah. So you'll be coming up on something that was you'll see is very heavily inspired by Limp Bizkit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm
A fan
intrigued.
favorite so
Okay.
far, I think.
what's that?
It's fan favorite so far, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Definitely,
It's
definitely my favorite song.
All right.
You
I'm
have to
into it.
tour like Metalocalypse, have the
Yeah,
3D
yeah,
image of the band and you in the background.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm intrigued. Okay. I'll have to play some more later.
Mm. Yeah, like with the variety of like biomes and environments and things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, it also would have given you a lot of different paths to take, I suppose, when you're writing the music, Dan. Like like Boddingham's got that like whimsical sort of music, and then you go to the carnival level, and you've like it's completely different, basically.
Well, and that's sort of what I was trying to do was enhance the levels and make it almost like a gag in its own right. Like when you get to
Mm.
Boddingham, I think we had some kids play it, and when they heard the music, one of them just started laughing. I was like, perfect. That's the reaction I wanted there. Like it's just dumb. You see it, and you'll see it hopefully when you get to it as well. Yeah, like I think even the D-Day level, it's like a big orchestral score. I don't know how to write that stuff. It was just fun to put it in, and the juxtaposition of having like
I
this
love
sort of
it.
semi-serious music up
Yeah.
against an army of robots is just so ridiculous to me. So it was
Yeah,
cool to be
I
able to
think
run with those ideas and really go with it.
the Boddingham, the way it was implemented, was just perfect too, because there's a spoiler thing that happens
How
late in the
many
game.
spoilers?
and then you sort of step out and it's just silence, and then you jump in the air to drop down from that cliff bit, and then that's when that whimsical music just hits, and it's just really cool the way it's implemented.
Yeah. So what was I gonna? Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say, was there anything like for audio design in the game, whether it be for a weapon or an enemy or anything like that? Like, was there anything just crazy that you used to make a sound or anything like that? Anything out there?
There's a photo somewhere where I was recording a toaster. So I actually like mic'd up a toaster and was putting it down and just
Yeah,
get
yeah.
some Foley noise. And that ended up being the sound for there's a basket cube launcher you'll get later in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you reload it and the thing pops back up, if you listen closely, it's a toaster. I guess nothing really crazy. I just sort of ran with it. Like I've never done this before. Like the audio stuff is all a first for me as well. I spent a bit
Okay.
of time working in the studio before I sort of dove into Bears, just recording local bands and working under someone who had quite a bit of experience in the industry. But prior to that, like it was just playing in bands was all I really did with music and write music for fun. So this was a whole new experience, and then learning how to make all that and then implement it in the game was really cool.
Kind of had to learn it twice as well, because like when you first jumped on, Quartz was the go-to like audio processory thing in Unreal Engine, and then Metasounds came in, and you had to relearn.
Time Synth
that
was
it?
the first one.
Oh,
Because they
time,
still use
yeah.
Quartz and Metasounds. But yeah, basically, like I had to re-implement everything. I think maybe in the last 6 months, I had to switch everything across to Metasounds, which was fun. Like Unreal's got some really, really cool audio tools just straight out of the box. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
try
heard
to
that
use as
they're
much of it as we could.
pretty easy to work with, most of their stuff.
Yeah, like a little bit of a steep learning curve at first to get your head around everything with the blueprints, but once you get it, then it all makes a lot of sense.
I keep trying to dip my toe into trying to make a game. It's hard to make time to do that, along with a lot of other things. I'm sure you guys know.
Really? Yeah.
Obviously. But yeah.
Gotta do it. Jump in.
Yeah.
I was talking to
Hmm.
guys. His name's Sam Marshall. He's made like a couple small little games, Flash of the Blade, and what was the other one? Concrete something. And there's some engine that he's using that I'm thinking about checking out and seeing if I can do something with that. But it's been something I've
Godot,
wanted
is
to
it?
try to do for a while. No, it's not Godot. I have Godot. I've been trying to learn that for a little bit as I can here and there, which is going better than I expected. It's a little bit better than it's a little bit easier than when I was trying to learn Unity. So far, it's been a little bit easier, but yeah, I'm gonna try to
I'd
jump between
recommend
those and see what I can do.
Unreal.
Do what?
I'd recommend Unreal. Like you just get more out of the box, and it's artist friendly.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
Seconded the recommendation for Unreal. I started on Unity, and it was definitely like good, like at the time, I suppose. But John convinced me to jump into Unreal, and I don't think I'd use anything else now.
That's fair.
It's very good. Plus, you can get the Epic Mega Grants. Well, there's opportunity to get Epic Mega Grants, and like we got 2 of those, and it was super helpful. And yeah, I mean, I think the licensing fee is relatively fair. And it's like just top tier software.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen
really.
they've done that. They've done that a lot, and there's a lot of really cool games that come from that because they do those. What are they called? They're like Unreal. I don't know. It's something they do on their YouTube channel where they spotlight all these different games that they've done mega grants for and stuff like that. And I've found a lot of cool games from that. But yeah, they do a lot of. They're pretty supportive when it comes to that, which is cool. And I like how Unreal's free, and it's like probably one of the easiest, I guess, to mess with and learn and try out and stuff for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. And plenty of tutorials out there as well. You just jump on YouTube and type in how to make game Unreal, and you'll find a million like high quality tutorials. Like it's super easy to get into.
But even the Epic page itself has got quite a lot of handy tutorials to get started. Like there's a whole 8-hour thing I think in there of how to make your first game, which worth checking out. Like it's covers sort of basic principles and what you need to know for Unreal. But
I'll have to, based on your recommendations, I'll have to go check it out.
Podcast is brought to you by Epic Games.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, audio design. There was something you were going to say before, right, John? You probably already lost it by now.
About audio.
About, yeah. Yeah,
there was I might be misremembering, but I remember the transition period. Wasn't there like some critical bug, and we're like, this is end of days, and it was engine side with. Might be
something was crashing every single time with meta sounds, but we fixed that. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, but it was just like because we sort of jumped on to was it the bridging version or something, and it was like, oh man, we are so boned.
I had half a day.
Worked out well.
Yeah. It's like half a day there of me going, I've made the worst decision jumping us over to this already.
Yeah, I'd probably like if you're on an engine version, there needs to be a cutoff point where you just stop updating and upgrading. We ran the risk and it paid out, but like it just
fine for us. Yeah. It was only ever like a day's worth of me screwing around, like updating the game to the next engine anyway.
Yeah, but then there'd be like waiting on plugins and stuff, and overall we got lucky, but I just feel like that's a tough lesson that we could have had.
Just keep things simple, and then like the simpler something is, the harder it is for it to break, basically.
It's fair.
So we've always try and stick with like a real simple sort of programming workflow, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I mean, the simpler something is, less it's gonna break. Make something overly complex, and it's gonna, be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So it seems like the reception of the game's been pretty good overall. You guys satisfied with the reception of the game?
Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's a bit better than what I was expecting, to be honest. Like I didn't have low hopes or anything. Like I thought we made something pretty cool, but I didn't expect, I suppose, such universal praise that we're getting.
Yeah.
And like you said before, like having people like Slim and G-Man, like been watching both those dudes for ages, and it's awesome to see them like it. Like I was especially worried that G-Man wasn't going to like it, but so I'm glad he did.
Yeah, I mean, freaking loved it, which, like I said, surprised the crap out of me. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just,
awesome.
yeah, no, I was, and I was
Awesome.
like,
Yeah,
dang, he really loves it. I definitely got to play it. It's just,
it was very, very cool seeing high praise from him.
oh yeah. And what made you guys decide on like the $20 price point? I mean, was there anything really behind that? You know,
That was sort
Publisher
of,
for the most part.
yeah.
publisher.
They wanted it to be a good value for money sort of title, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, with everyone saying roughly, you know, you could probably get 20 hours or so if you did everything in the game. You guys got a pretty good value, especially for those out there who you know say that they got to get at least $1 per hour. So you got that crowd, I guess. But I mean, even if you just played mainline or missed a bunch of stuff, I mean, still $20 for what you guys got going on it's pretty good. It's good value. You know what I mean? I genuinely thought that would have been like a $40 or so game when I went to go buy it, and I was like, ooh, $20. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think the risk there is like if we did charge more for it, like even though like I'm really proud of the art and it may come
Yeah.
across as like AA slightly or whatever. It's just an indie game thrown through,
Yeah.
right? And I think if we price it higher, then expectations for all that bells and whistles would have been there, and we've only got bells or something. So
You only got
Yeah, I think-
bells, few whistles.
Yeah, so
yeah.
a couple of horns. Yeah, so I think it was the right price point anyway. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it sells well enough because we'd love to make a sequel, and our idea for a sequel is going to be bigger and better in every way. So tell your friends and bully your enemies into buying it. Something.
I love it. Yeah. Have you seen that? You know, like any good, like a good amount of younger people playing it.
So
I don't know how you
when
would
we
really see
did,
that per se, but yeah.
unless you're on a watch list, but when we were at PAX, there was quite a few people that brought their kids around, or the kids brought their parents around to play it, and it was awesome. Like they just enjoyed the crazy colors and the crazy action, and
Yeah.
that's what sort of inspired us because we have a platform helper mode. I don't know if you check that out, but basically what it does is
I saw
anytime
it, yeah.
anytime there's sort of like double jumping required or dashing in the air and stuff, we just built bridges everywhere, and we like add more jump pads, and the flipping platforms no longer flip. And we got the idea of that because we were watching kids play it, and they love the guns, they love running around, they love all that sort of stuff. But when it got to the platforming, that's when they sort of really struggled. So we sort of just put it in there to really just ease them into it and have fun with it. And then we
also have a lot of accessibility as far as difficulty and stuff like that as well, which is cool.
Yeah, I think it's just absolutely absurd when games sort of refuse to accommodate other people. You know, like if you have a really shitty day at work or whatever, and you want to come home and just blast robots, like why would we gatekeep that? Like you can chuck it on easy mode and just go nuts.
Yeah.
Like it always boggled my brain. But
yeah, I mean, why don't you can just enjoy something as that? I mean, the game's going to be just as enjoyable as a power fantasy as it is something that's going to like absolutely kick your ass. And I think that's cool though. I mean, that you guys, and I think that's cool that you guys went with all that accessibility. Because when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay, because like my son, he's about to be 3. You know, he's slowly getting into playing games just a tad. You know, so here in like another year or so, you know, I could let him play some Bears in Space and just put it on the lowest difficulty of everything.
Well, we've also got that respawn mode too. So when you die, you don't really die, and they're just like everything you've killed or done is done. So you can just keep in the action. And
Slim said he totally didn't use that at all for footage.
Yeah,
cheeky bugger.
But yeah, it was fun. Like there was when we were at PAX, there was this one kid who just kept coming back with his dad. He would have been, what do you reckon, like 6 or something, 7?
Yeah.
And it was just every time he rocked out, there was just a queue to play it. And then I think it was like 10 minutes to go. And then the dude who was also waiting a while was nice enough to sort of get out of the way for the kid to play, and he just loved it. And it was just fun to watch him when they're like trying to jump, and he's like jumping out of his seat to do the jumps and stuff, and he was like in it and ducking and stuff. Yeah, so it's cool to just see him like really get amongst it and enjoy the blasting of butts. So
yeah. I mean, hey, it's
like you said, there's no swears or anything, and it is gruesome, but it's
Yeah, in
Color
a
isn't
sense
red,
of like
so we get away with it.
robots.
Yeah, yeah. There's,
The oil,
have you
the
gone
oil
to,
and the destruction.
So you haven't gone to Whistling Pete's yet
No,
in the
I think
dungeon?
he's just about to get there. Yeah.
no, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
'cause
close. Yeah.
there's something real brutal that's about to happen. That
Oh, yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
with the? Is it with the totally not like serial killer guy
no,
that you
this
help?
is
Oh, okay, okay, something
something
totally different.
something you do.
Oh, okay,
You'll
gotcha.
know it when you see it.
Is there a? You were talking about lip sync earlier. Is there lip sync on the trash bots or whatever?
No, there's no lip sync on that. The only quotation mark lip sync in the game is from your two crewmates at the start of on the intro level, and I was really proud of how like crappily I made the lip sync, but how well it works. Like, because it's just
It does work.
like it's just yeah, because like when they're talking, it's just a blend space of like their mouth in a closed position and then an open position,
Mhm.
and then there's like 2 or 3 different open positions, and their mouth just opens like based on the volume of whatever audio
Yeah.
track is currently playing. But then it's like so the volume is controlling the openness of the mouth, and then there's sort of just like a randomizer going back and forth in the blend space to alter the shape of the mouth, and like it shouldn't work, but it just
Right.
sort of does. Like
The magic
audio
of
is
game
almost
development. Yeah.
yeah,
Just
like
the craziest
you would
things that you
think
make work. Yeah.
you would think it's more complex from how it looks, but it's just it's just a bone being driven by like the audio volume basically, and it's like
I
it
love
cracks
that
me up
whole.
watching it.
Yeah. I love that whole intro to the game. Like just the whole intro is just fantastic. You're just like this old decrepit, like space marine who's about to retire, and then the bears have to ruin all your fun.
They went through a couple of revisions, I suppose.
Yeah.
It was a bit slower earlier, and we trimmed it down and made it a little more action packed.
Yeah, you have to just set the stakes and the tone, I suppose. Like we made it as quick as we could with delivering the jokes. I think like one of the things we did successfully is like we set the tone straight away. Like as soon as you see that intro cutscene and how stupid it is, and then you slip over banana peels, get a health pack, kill everyone that's there. Like it's pretty obvious you're in for a real stupid ride. So
right, yeah. The intro like cutscene, it's skipping my mind now, but it was inspired by something, right?
Because it hit me like as a Looney Tunes looking thing.
Yeah, because it was it just kind of gave me vibes, of that kind of stuff.
Scooby-Doo chase scenes and
yes, that was one of the biggest ones. Yeah, when they that part, I was like, yes, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, the ships like flying off screen, and then they sort of meet each other. Then they like turn around and doink off.
Oh, and then go the other way. Yeah. And then when you get into the area where you're talking to the two crewmates, you got the sprinkled donuts everywhere. Obviously, Homer must have been there, a little bit before the incident, but got out, and but I love before just everything goes to shit. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did it.
It was
I don't know why.
Very funny. I think that was one of those things that was just put in, and then both me and Gus saw it, laughed, and it's like, cool, that stays in then.
Just
Like, just one of those little try to make each other laugh sort of things, and if they do, then cool, leave it in. It's good.
Yeah, and I love how every level is you crashing into the next level with the little ship.
So far.
So far. Okay.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a bus at one point.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean that's sort of like we were trying to play into the character, like these two, they only care about themselves. Like they don't really, they're not going out of their way to be like destructive and chaotic, but it's just their nature, and they like it's neither good nor bad to them. It's just they crash through a wall, and that's they've destroyed someone's business, but it's not really any issue to them.
Yeah, I love the bear in a china shop thing. I destroyed all the china, and then
you missed the achievement
then. What?
You missed the level goal then.
Yeah, I did. But I destroyed it all, and then he sends the people, and then I loved how you finish it, and he's like, "All right, I'll let you go this time." You know, like
He comes back.
Yeah.
oh, he comes back.
Mainstay character.
Nice, love it. Okay, yeah, and that's another thing is all the characters. They're all, I mean, even the minor ones, they really stand out. Like even ones in like the little side missions, like the birthday bot. What was his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny seeing people love Trevor because, like, again, that's just like a stupid like minor gag that we did. It's nothing that funny in our opinions, but like people just like him.
Yeah, it's pretty humorous. I mean, most of those little side things are there's got the Vin Diesel one basically, which
Did you do the police lineup one?
No, I haven't done that one yet.
Yeah.
Might have been.
I think that one is my favorite, like pound for pound.
I don't know if that's one later or if that's one I missed, because there's definitely some that I
you would have missed it. Yeah,
prior levels. Yeah, some of them I'm like, I don't even know how in the hell that I'm supposed to find some of this stuff, but. Even with the secret tracker on, and I'm still like,
Because when we were making it, I was just thinking the whole time, like, this is just not. These aren't secrets. This is so obvious. So I'm glad people are struggling with it because
some of them are.
It's just like this is so obvious. But like we definitely the way that we sort of built out the levels and stuff. There are so many that there's ones that we know are easy, and then ones that are more complicated. But because we wanted people to find them, like what's the point of going all this effort and you never find them? So
I mean, there's a lot. There's like you guys packed quite a few into each of those levels. I like the one with the private investigator too. Where he's in there, you going across trying to find everything. You find his lair, and then like you're like, okay, well this guy was the one drinking the motor oil or whatever, like, and all that stuff.
It's like the lamest twist in history. I really like those sort of. It's basically an anti-joke. Like it's not really.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's not funny, and it's like
it's
obvious. But like going back to the characters and being likable, it's pretty funny because like the majority of the voice acting was done by us three. We did hire Gianni to do quite a few characters, which is awesome, and then Ben Davies, another guy, to do one or two characters. But for the most part, it's just like us three doing like silly voices, and we never really thought that we were particularly good at voice acting or like being characters or anything. But like, there's always like we're seeing praise for the voice acting, and it's a surprise.
Like, hey, we're actually pretty good.
Yeah, like we're not voice actors. Like we recorded all that. Like Dan built a little sound booth and then set it up at John's place, and that's where we recorded all the dialogue.
And by a sound booth, he got PVC and was it wall carpets or something?
No, they were like moving blankets and double over, and it did
a
really good
job at deadening sound. Yeah.
It worked. It worked.
Together,
These are things you got to do when you triple B.
Triple B. All right, I'm gonna make that a thing. Triple B. All right, I got it. You write that down in my notes.
Maybe single B.
Single B? Just one B? Okay.
Yeah, just one B.
B and a half. One B. All right. B and a half. Yeah. So I mean, any crazy technical hurdles, Garth?
Yeah, I mean, like performance was a bit of a worry for a little while.
Being so fast paced and stuff.
Yeah, and like just the sheer amount of projectiles on screen, and especially like on the bot day level, like that level in particular was just this. It was so annoying for so long because a majority of the game ran pretty well, but you get to this level and there's just like so many enemies, so many projectiles. It's like it was just running terribly. But I had a bit of a breakthrough, and I replaced projectiles being actors. I replaced them with Niagara particle systems, basically. So all most projectiles in the game are actually they're CPU calculated particles, but it's just a lot more efficient than like a bunch of actors ticking. Like and they were pooled actors previously, but they were still just switching from pooled actors to Niagara particle systems. It was a huge like performance boost. and they're mostly accurate. They're like 95% accurate with their collisions.
Right.
Yeah. So after that, the bot day level ran like butter, which is awesome.
You guys making me
Don't think I've ever
so
seen
excited
John-
for the bot day level, man. Like I just
Ooh, good
level.
music,
Yeah,
good action.
it sounds pretty insane. It sounds like a good time. So looking forward to it.
On that breakthrough that Garth had, I don't think I've ever seen John so happy when he was told he could as many enemies as he wanted in bot day again. Every time it was being used, he was just crushing his soul. It's like, it needs to be big, man. And then
That D-Day, man.
Like,
I feel like the next update after that, it was just like, man, there's way too many. You got to halve this.
Yeah, I think it had the most iterations per like small bit of area ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that beach landing.
Yeah. I think the biggest technical hurdle I had was we had this issue where you'd play the level and it was always the same point and my computer would just fucking crash. It would just, I don't know, like it just would always crash, and I had to
Only yours though. Only your computer.
And we asked people online, no one could help us. Like it was just this insane thing, and I couldn't finish building the level for Milestone, I think it was. And then I ended up just buying a new computer, and then it just kept crashing. And then what the weird thing was I somehow dragged like a movie file or something into the level, and then it was trying to find the location of that movie file, and it was going through like the directory of my computer, not finding it, and then timing out and then crashing the engine. And then when I bought a new computer, I named it the exact same name, and so it was doing the exact same thing again on the new computer. And then Garth like eventually figured it out, but it was like this. Oh, dude, it was like the most stressful.
Crazy. Yeah,
yeah. It's just a stupid thing that I somehow did.
Yeah, and like I couldn't troubleshoot that because I couldn't replicate the issue on my end because my computer didn't have that folder, like those directories. So when it loaded on mine, it was just like, oh, this directory doesn't exist. Gonna stop the search. But because John had the same file structure on both computers, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
That is weird how those like small little things like that can just mess something up. That's crazy.
That was
and I think
that lost it.
Yeah.
The
What was that, Dan?
I said it lasted for like months too. It wasn't just like a short thing. It was infuriating for John for a long time.
Oh man, the other infuriating thing that we're getting off our chests was so we got the top down shoot 'em up levels. Yeah, I think you would have played one of them. Like yeah. And so for the longest time, it was set to frame rate. I think the movement, and because I got a new computer, which was just like top of the line sort of thing. Yeah. Got the best I could sort of thing, and it was impossible to play. It was so quick. Like the bullets were just all over the place. The movement, you couldn't control it. You tap D and it would smash into the wall. And then I'm trying to explain it to these dudes and I'm like, there is something wrong with this. And then it was just like, you're wrong, because they would play it on their end and it was fine.
Yeah,
and it was like eventually. But yeah, it was.
Because the movement wasn't being multiplied by delta time. It was like the input was like frame dependent. So the higher the FPS, the more the input was multiplied by, basically.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That was sort of now. But
yeah.
I think that was one of the things I learnt early on to code, so it was definitely my fault. Gus saved the day with that, which was cool.
Yeah.
But it's always like the biggest fear is always like stumbling upon a bug you just have no idea how to tackle. Like you can identify a bug, but then like just knowing how to fix something is usually half the struggle and stuff. But like Garth and Dan did a good job, and I didn't do any of that shit. So.
Right. It's another point for keeping things simple, because like the simpler it is,
keep me away from it.
Yeah, the easier it is. Yeah.
I mean, you guys obviously, you like the final product. Everybody's loving it. It's doing well, So, and you said you definitely, if it sells well, you want to make a sequel. You want to do more, which is good to hear. I'm sure everybody is going to love to hear that. And is there? Well, I'm sure there's things, but I mean, if there's like one major thing that you like cut from the game that you wish would have been in there, what would that be?
we cut from this game specifically. We had arcade modes outside of the game that I would like to bring back for the next game. I won't go into what they are, but
Yeah.
they would have added like another 5-10 hours of gameplay, like replayability.
That's cool. Okay.
And that's something we'll definitely do in the sequel. But yeah, I mean, when we do a sequel, my pipe dream, and I'm not promising it, but I'd love to have like split screen co-op. No other reason than it'd be fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that kind of brings me to, you guys have plans of console at some point, maybe?
it's like, dependent on sales. So
I figure as much.
Need to sell some more copies, and then that'll sort of fund a port to the current gen consoles. But until that happens, we can't.
Yeah, we're keen. But you got to convince the publisher. So
I was gonna yell at a bunch of people. Hey, buy Bears in Space. Buy Bears in Space. Yeah. Hey, buy Bears in Space.
With a knife in their back.
I do what I can. But
start skimming credit cards for us.
Yeah.
You guys were quite a big fans of Tony Hawk, I assume, as well, right?
Yeah.
Because of the collecting. Oh, I see. Is that Tech Deck? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know it. But yeah, the recent one ruled, man. Like that is a perfect game. That Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake.
Yep. Oh yes, those are awesome.
Give me 3 and 4, you jerks. Come on, Microsoft. You got all the money. Stop palling around.
I figure they would do that as an expansion for it or something, but
that's what everyone was sort of expecting. But
then Vicarious, didn't they get pulled off and do Diablo support or something? Or am I?
Yeah, they're no longer Vicarious. They're just a support studio. They're just called like Blizzard something now. They're not even Vicarious.
That's soul crushing. Like that team is so talented. Like it's insane to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they've been around forever. Like, I mean, they've been doing things for a long time.
Imagine like the awesome artists and stuff have probably left and doing something more rewarding. But like, I can't imagine like if we made this game and then our next assignment is to make gun skins for the rest of the year. That'd be soul crushing, dude.
Oh,
like, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I was just talking with people about like Raven Software and stuff. They were just kind of stuck in the Call of Duty mines. And like they were such a talented studio that could have done even more things, but just because of like publisher expectations and stuff like that, they just kind of got thrown into being a support studio. Sadly, stuff like that happens way too often.
I can't imagine. Like it's one of those things where we think of old studios that we grew up with and we love their games and stuff, but like how many of those key people are still there? Like
it's a pretty small amount, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know Ravensoft, and it'd be awesome if they had their own autonomy back and all that stuff. But like I very doubt that it's the same. It's like, I mean, Rare's killing it now with Sea of Thieves, right? But like if you gave them Banjo-Kazooie, like it's not a sure bet, like it's
especially since most of the main people who are at Rare are actually at Playtonic now. So like the main ones from back in the day, those are pretty much all of them. Like Greg Mails, Steve Mails, they were all gone.
I think it sort of comes full circle to what we were sort of saying before with The Simpsons, where it's like now you've got a team of people that are referencing Banjo-Kazooie, trying to make the new Banjo-Kazooie instead of what inspired Banjo-Kazooie, and like it's a tough thing to sort of replicate.
For sure, and that happens all the time. A lot of people, like, oh, we love the studio and wish they'd do what they used to do, but like those people already went off and made other studios and have already made other games. You just may not have been following them that closely. And I mean, I find that all the time. I'm like, oh wait, this guy actually over here, or this person's like here. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is not even the same studio. It's like what people talking about, they like wish Bungie would go back and make, like more like a classic marathon or like make a Halo again. But it's like most of those guys aren't even there anymore. Like they're off. There's only like one or two key people that still work at 343 from Bungie, and the rest are off doing completely different things. So it wouldn't even be the same anyway.
The risk could just be they'd make it too big. Like I really love Halo 1 to 3, and like they're sort of self-contained, compact campaigns, and then like the multiplayer ruled. Like I know, like Infinite had heaps and heaps of fans, but like to me, it just felt wrong that it was a big open world, make your own adventure, as opposed to like a handcrafted experience. That that's
Yeah, I
just
mean,
me,
I
Halo fanboy.
yeah, I'm a huge fan of Halo as well. Halo 2 is probably my favorite. But and I haven't like beaten Infinite or anything, but I like the gameplay, but it kind of just felt like, hey, this is Halo, but it's also Far Cry, or something like that. It's just like a very by the numbers kind of game, which is just kind of becoming really popular to do. It's either going to be like a by the numbers open world game, or it's a by the numbers live service game like Suicide Squad or something like that. And I think people are kind of finally getting a little annoyed by it, and they're starting to not buy these games. They're starting to have kind of like more public outcry about them. And then indie games and AA games are kind of like carrying the industry right now. Like they're just kind of, that's what people want to play. That's, people are starting to get nostalgic for the old times more than ever, because all we're getting is the same thing over and over. But people are playing boomer shooters, and they're playing 3D platformers, and they're playing old CRPGs and all these things that people are making. And then a lot of big studios do what?
Oh, well, and you get like the shareholders sort of pushing the companies for more and more profit. Like that's all they care about is profit.
Yeah.
Make whatever's just going to make us the most money, and you're sort of losing the soul of just make a game because it's fun. Like
it was kind of like was it Helldivers 2? The game developers were like, hey, if you make a good game, people are going to play it, and you don't really have to make them pay for a bunch of crap that doesn't matter. And they said, it sucks that we have to put the servers down because too many people are playing, but if people like the game, they're going to come back, so it'll be okay. You know what I mean? Like, it was just crazy to hear a developer go, if we make a good game, people are going to play the game. If they don't play it, then I guess they don't play it. But if we made a solid, well-optimized game, it's probably one of the most popular multiplayer games on the market right now. Like, it's just a mindset that's different than, hey, it's like I made a post on Nick from Second Wind was talking something about it, and I said, if you make a good game, it'll last forever. And if you try to make a game last forever, it's gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's gonna care about Suicide Squad or any of these like live service games in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But people are gonna care about things like,
Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, like the same series. Like they're the pinnacle.
Maybe nobody who even made those games are even still at Rocksteady, like we were talking about before. That's possible. Maybe none of them are even there anymore. It's not even the same people, possibly. But it sucks to see, like, Rocksteady be pushed down a direction to make just a live service game. And it's the most live service game that I've ever seen. Like, it couldn't be more live service than that. It's a weird thing, because it was such a talented studio that, but like we said, it's been a long time since they released a game, and probably doesn't even have any of the same people, because I'm pretty sure I saw just a couple years ago, like, several key members of Rocksteady went on to make another studio or something that hasn't released a game yet, so who knows?
3 of them we know. They came down to Australia and made Prideful Sloth, so... Like,
yeah.
Has
that
been
might
an
have been the
exodus
one.
over the years, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, like, just talking to, like, all of that sort of stuff, like, it has been a bit hard. Like, it's more than just making a good game. Like, everyone cries for originality and new IP, but then, like, from what we're sort of seeing is, like, all the attention goes to sequels in the media space, and then you also got, if a game does poorly, everybody likes to jump on it and keep shitting on it for the views instead of trying to push up the good stuff that's coming out, because there's so many games coming out. Like we're feeling it a little bit, but like I see it with other games too, where it's like, this game looks awesome, no one's talking about it because they're crapping on some season passing, like it's, and then you get the copycats, and because they see the views go up shitting on something, everyone else wants to shit on it too, and it's just like I really like games, like they're my favorite thing to make and play, and I would just rather everyone sort of focus on all the fun, good stuff. But it doesn't drive the clicks. Like, everyone wants to be angry, I suppose.
Yeah, that's like I just hit 600 subscribers, which has been a very long journey. But
Awesome.
it's slow. Like I sit there and look at it, right? I've told other people I could make that number go up so fast because I know what would get me actual clicks for things. Like I could do the popular thing, I could do the negative thing, I could talk shit about things all the time. But why the hell would I do that? Like I'm going to make things that I want to make. I'm not going to make things that other people want me to make. You know what I mean? Unless they're enjoying what I'm already making and they want to see more of that, then I'll keep making that because that's what I like to do. But I'm not going to sit here and just like shit on games because other people are shitting on games. I'm not going to sit here and praise a game because other people are praising the game. You know, I'm not going to sit here and, oh, okay, see, this came out just now. Let me go make a video on it. This came out. Make it. No. But people do that all the time, and they just chase that, and then it becomes like the most popular topic. And I saw like some people say that they think, because it seems like Bears in Space, while it seems like it's doing well, and everybody who is talking about it is loving it, it does seem like it doesn't, like on YouTube, it doesn't have that much like talk around it. Like there's not enough reviews, you know what I mean? Which I see a lot with indie games. Some indie games kind of kick off and they're like boom, 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 boom. There's like reviews everywhere, but there's not that many for it because I tried to find as many as I could like when it came out. I'm sure like as time goes on, more is going to roll out.
Like
but
yeah, I think like word of mouth is pretty much our only hope at this point, sort of thing, to get the word out there. I mean, I watched your interview with G-Man. He does highlight that it's like, it is a tough game to sort of market because like we're doing some like stuff that just other games aren't doing, you know, like it's an absurd adventure with wacky, goofy stuff going on, you know, like,
and oddly enough,
unfortunately, like the point of reference is High on Life, which like we sort of discussed is like we just are not like that game. And then it creates this issue where if you really like High on Life and you get our game, it's not like that at all. And hopefully you'll like what we've made. But if you hate High on Life, then you're probably just not even going to look at it.
You're just not going to check out the game at all.
Yeah, and which is the soul crushing point because like we did start this game many years before it was announced. Like it's just
I mean, it's kind of like
dev, man. Like it's long dev cycles. Like this is the risk you take.
It's kind of like we talked to Osric, who made Viscera Fest, and we talked to Stagnation, who did Diluvian Ultra. Both those games started development like 12 years ago or something. And that was like before boomer shooters. That was before the FPS was even revitalized with Dusk and Doom 2016. You know what I mean? And then when they finally get their game out, or even in early access, like they'd already those games had already had the resurgence for like 5 years or something. And then they get them out, and they're like, "Oh, look, it's another boomer shooter," and that just like affects the reception, even though they're like more than that, and they've been in development way longer, and it's not just like some kind of cash grab or something, which people seem to think, I guess, with things like that. I even talked to a guy who made Clive and Wrench, which was a 3D platformer, and Rob at Dinosaur Bites, and he also had like a 10 to 12 year development. And by the time he released his game, like 3D platformers had already made another resurgence. So it's just like, hey, look, another 3D platformer is like what a lot of people say. But it's like, nah, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's a 3D platformer, but it's like, you know, it was in development long before that was just coming back again.
The animations in Clive and Wrench actually inspired me because I remember seeing him on Twitter like years and years ago, and just like, especially his jumping animations, and I think he's got like a little flying animation thingy, and it was so smooth and awesome. Like I saw that and I was like, I want to be as good as that.
I love the animation in that game, and I thought it like felt really smooth, and like you could really chain everything together when you're playing the game. Like it just was, Which when I talked with him, like a lot of people's complaint was like it felt floaty, but I thought it felt great. Like it was just fast and responsive, and it's funny you say that because it's like it does the animations in that game, like they feel pretty bouncy, kind of like kind of like Bears in Space guns.
Squash and stretch is the principle there, and it's like it's the key to like making things looking cartoony and fun and like lively.
Yeah, we had a story from yesteryear. There was a dude that was unhinged on Facebook, which is surprising, I suppose. We posted an animation of Garth like squashing the dude, the robots, and he just lost it at us. He's like, that isn't how metal works. It just was like real unhinged. And then that was the day.
Like you should.
This is the right path.
It's like this looks wrong. This looks wrong. Metal doesn't bend like this. You should reconsider your animations.
I think after that you lent even more into it and made it.
Yeah,
that's the right choice. Just go more into it. Like, man, this is a cartoony game. Like, we're not looking for realism.
Yeah,
that was
fun.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. But yeah, I mean, it's such a weird thing because I've seen multiple people talk about like the visual style of Bears in Space being something that could potentially be like, you know, something that makes people want to have a second glance at it, or like not really want to pick, which I don't get that, man. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's because I enjoyed, you know, Looney Tunes and like weird, wacky shit growing up, or I don't know. Maybe it's just because I gravitate towards those more like lighthearted, just goofy, irreverent kind of like things. Like I said, just raw humans and stuff like that. And I just really love that kind of humor. So I don't see it when people are like, "Oh, that just looks like a kid's game, and I don't want to play that. This looks so stupid." What?
You gotta have a little appreciation for the silly like side of life.
Yeah,
and you got like
they're not gonna like it anyway. Like and I think, you know, the people who are just diehard gritty boomer fans or whatever, you know, they're always like, we want something new and exciting, but not this new, not this. You know what I mean? Like they just want more of the same with a little twist, and that's fine. You know, like there is a space for dark, gritty, giblet heaven stuff, right? Like it's like we play those games too. It's just, you know, we want to make something cartoony, but it's you know, it's the boomer shooter stuff. There's the adventure element is like equal part there, and then, you know, you've got the Bullet Hell too, which I think can put people off. But like the way we looked at it was like Bullet Heck is sort of how we coined it, because it's more like Death by 1,000 Cuts. Like it's not so much like the crazy like Ikaruga sorts of shmups or anything. Like it's just you know, it's just like, it keeps you moving. Yeah,
you're always on your toes. You're constantly dodging projectiles. You're really thinking on your feet, you know, that kind of stuff.
And we want the player to feel like they screwed up. You know, if you ran into a wall of death, like that's on you. Like you saw it coming.
Yeah, there's no hit scanners. There's no like just kind of bullshit kind of things like that in there at all. Yeah, I mean, like I definitely don't get that complaint. I mean, I think a lot of it comes from people who like want this ultra realism and everything that they play. Like they're just used to the mainline AAA things that are put out by like Sony or whatever, you know, and they're like, I just want this, you know. Oh, look, that's too cartoony, and I don't know. But I think you guys did it pretty well to be able to find, I mean, many different age groups, right? You know, it's palatable for everyone, and that's probably one of the best qualities for it, not only in the short term, but definitely for the long term as well. Just
and like we can't please everybody, you know. Like it's, I think those people that are complaining about superficial stuff, they're just not going to like it, and they're going to find a reason not to like it anyway. Like if you know, we've seen people that just hate the humor, hate the voiceovers too, and it's like that's fine. Like we set out to make a like the goofy B grade game, and it's like we're doing what we can to find the people that, you know, just want to have a fun cartoony adventure, and that's all we can really do. So, and that's where like word of mouth really comes in. So.
Yeah. I mean, I boot it up, go to the main menu, and it's for me, it's like, dang, this is just it's a breath of fresh air. It's a change of pace. I like it. You know what I mean? And you know, even though it's a completely different thing, I felt a similar thing when I played like High on Life and some other games like that. I just like, it's cartoony, it's goofy, it's fun, it's, you know, it doesn't take itself completely seriously. It's just something about that, you know. You don't have to, I mean, the combat, you have to be kind of involved, but like, you know, you can kind of turn your brain off for a little bit. You can jump in, play for a little while. You feel satisfied. There's plenty of things to do. There's plenty of things to find. You know, there's secrets, whatever. There's replayability in case you miss things. You go back, you know, and there's like a nostalgic kind of feel to that as well, that you just, you know, it's like games of old where you could just pick them up, play a game. It works. It's not buggy and full of issues, and that's pretty refreshing in this day and age, especially with, you know, how unoptimized a lot of like AAA games are these days and stuff like that. So
real stickler for bugs.
Yeah.
Like we wanted to be like as solid as possible on launch, and like there's a couple bugs there or whatever, but like we really went out of our way to make sure that the game was as bug free as possible. Like we didn't want to release any sort of like janky mess or anything like that.
Yeah.
On the topic of nostalgia, that's been really interesting having reviews come back saying that a lot of them are like made me feel like a kid again, or reminded me of these like better times, and like all this heartwarming stuff that's come through, which is just wild, because we didn't set out to make a nostalgic thing. We were just making something that we enjoyed growing up, and then it just didn't click with us. Like at no point we're like, like this could be a nostalgic marketing point or a pivot point, or like the way to describe what it is that we're making. And it wasn't until these reviews came through, I was like, oh yeah, I guess we did do that. But it's just funny looking back and not having realized that.
We're all in our 30s, so everything that's inspired us is nostalgic, I suppose.
Old men.
Yeah, I mean, I made a little short like spotlight video on the game because like I was playing it and I was like, I really want to make something for it, but I don't have time between some other projects to like really do a full video, and I haven't beat the game, so I couldn't really do it justice in that way. So like I'm just gonna make a little spotlight video. So I took some cool moments that I recorded, made a little video, and I mean I think even in there I said like it made me feel like a kid all over again, playing it, and I was like, I think I said these 3 Australian geniuses made this love letter to the world's nostalgia or something like that. But yeah, no, it was just do it.
You can go back and take out that genius line then if you want. Now you've spoken to us. 3 Australian jackasses.
These 3 Australians have ruined my childhood.
It's already out there. Sorry, I can't go back and edit it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but it's it's a cool game. Is there any other little things you guys want to share about it or anything about the development? I went over quite a bit, been all over the place, but anything that comes to mind?
There's probably a million things. It's just that long dev cycle. And we're sort of thinking in the future we would do like a maybe level by level sort of dev diary stream recording thing, because like you fly around and there's just like so many different jokes that were cut, or like someone would go in and make a joke without no one else knowing, and then you'd get to that point, you're like, what the hell's this? And then like it's hilarious, and you had no idea that someone had snuck it in. And like there's all these cool little things that I think if we went through it again together, and it all sort of jog the memories and stuff.
Was there anything like that you guys like? I mean, there's only 3 of you. I don't know how much you could sneak in, but I mean, did you guys sneak anything else in that like the other one didn't know about?
Garth is the most sneaky.
Yeah.
He had an enemy that he snuck in for ages.
The ninja. Yeah, true. Yeah, I made a zombie ninja bot inspired by the Half-Life agents, the ones that are like they're all dressed in black and they're like flipping around everywhere. And I didn't tell like either of these 2 guys about it. And then I think when John first came across one, he thought it was like bugging out. He's like, "There's something wrong with this enemy. It's going all over the place."
Yeah,
I get too excited. I think I'd tell you guys as I'm doing it, like this is gonna be so stupid.
Yeah, it's definitely fun, like trying to trick each other and leave surprises for each other.
Yeah. Were any of the side missions like that? I mean, like the optional objectives, did you guys any of those snuck in or at some point a surprise?
They were sort of made in isolation. So it was like we knew roughly where a thing was going to go, but someone was sort of designated with coming up with whatever it is and then sort of ran with it. I mean, the duck gun, the chicken town one is like, I think we had a rough idea and then Dan just sort of ran with that one, if I remember. I don't know, the trapdoor. Have you found the trapdoor?
Yeah.
Do you know what trapdoor is? The claymation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was going to be like a trap music disco thing for the longest time, and it was like overly complicated, and then in the end we just scaled it back. But I don't know, it's just we sort of just did our own thing and convened, and they worked or it didn't work, and Yeah,
It's
it's just fun to.
It gives me like it
Like
reminds me of
some,
the early days of like id Software or something, like they're just like going around each individual person making different maps, and then they don't even know what's in each map, and it just
yeah,
somehow
actually,
happens to connect, kind of thing.
there's two things that aren't in anymore that I actually think is freaking hilarious. So we got this mate who used to test it for us ages ago, and he would always just jump out of the map, which was needed, but it was frustrating. He's like, dude, give us some feedback. But we ended up making a trigger zone with his face on it. So if he jumped out of the map,
Yeah,
it would like show his face, and it was just hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and
is
then the
funny,
other
yeah.
one was we were getting playtesting, and the pistol is whatever it is. Like the pistol, some people love it, and it makes me angry because we have all these other cool weapons. And there's one play, and there's this
Yeah, I
one
mean,
playtester
I
who
barely
kept
use it, but I
yeah,
saw you
which is
can
good.
upgrade it to like the bajillion
Yeah,
of them, and I'm like, I
Mm.
kind of want that though.
Yeah, do it in the second playthrough. But
Yeah, it works.
yeah, he used to like corner cheat and then just like shoot around corners, which is just not
Yeah.
what the gameplay is. Like we want
Yeah,
you to
yeah,
get
yeah.
in and put claw to face. And so Garth programmed in that anytime he shot the pistol, they would turn on the player and shoot the screen. So he was
Shoot
taking
himself.
damage. Yeah.
Huh. That's
So it's
funny.
like
He wouldn't use any other gun at all. Like he would just play the entire game with the pistol. And yeah, he's like corner peeking
So,
and
so
like
just for
sniping
him,
from
you made it to
afar.
where he would shoot himself. For
Yeah, that's exactly
oh, you gotta
what we
love
did.
it. That's great.
and then we got really good feedback after that because he was like jumping in with the shotgun and stuff because he was playing it in a way that just we didn't make it for that.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
if the complaint is like the level's too long and it's because you're sitting back trying
Sitting
to snipe
behind
with
a
a
corner
pistol,
shooting.
like yeah, it's not feedback we could
Yeah,
use.
yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty funny because he was like he would send us recordings of himself playing it,
Yeah, yeah.
and then it was at the moment when he shot himself in the face. It was good.
He did it like 3 or 4 times. Like, what is going on here? It started getting
That's
mad.
great.
That's
oh
awesome.
my goodness. Yeah, that's great. Was I mean, like, I would say like arena design and stuff. Do you guys, I mean, anything specific on that? I mean, they're all kind of different. Some of them are more like classic Quake arenas. Some of them are kind of like lane based, more linear, but they're kind of like fold in on each other. It's pretty varied. You got your corridors and stuff like that too, and a lot more platforming than I initially was, thinking that there would be in there. Like when I started the game, but I love platforming, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think I did all or nearly all the arenas and stuff. Yeah,
I don't remember doing any.
it was sort of like I would always just have like a mood or feeling like I wanted to convey per section, and that's sort of where the design came from for each. But like one of the big things that I love is like I think the level you're on now is probably the best version of it, where you have like a hub room that you enter and you see all the doorways and stuff, and then you go on missions and stuff, and then you come back and you're at a different point of that room. Yeah, it's like all this overlapping level design, which I really like. And
I like that too,
one of the core pillars with level design for me was like I hate backtracking in games. Like really hate it. It annoys me so much. And so like there's none in this game. I mean the only time is like if you walk into a monster closet and you have to exit that closet, and that's like 2 seconds of backtracking. Like it does not exist in this game.
Like the little ritual that I found in a corner under a staircase.
Yeah.
Which
it's a good one.
I interact with that, and then it's
so
just like enemies. So I'm like,
Yeah, so those are really good for. I mean, they're sort of like a little bit basic for as our secrets go, but they're ideal for helping you level up your guns. So if you find that arena, there's like 50 bots that spawn, and that just gives you a chance to get a bit of a boost on your weapons. So it pays not so much. Well, I mean, it pays you in Vic bucks, but it also pays in gameplay and ways to level up quickly too. So it's worth searching out.
There was a part I bought the what was it? I went to like Vic and I had a bunch of money and I upgraded I got some ammo capacity upgrades and I bought the tri-shooter because it was in there for a while and I didn't buy it, so I was like, buy it, And then right after I buy it, I go down a side area. It's in the dungeon where you have to keep buying the doors.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, damn it, I don't have the money anymore. So I had to completely miss out on it because I ran out of money. I was like, it
Ooh.
looked like I was at either the second to last or the last door worth of money, and then I had to leave, and I was like, damn it.
And depending on
That's
your
what-
choice, it might have been a good idea to not be able to go to the end.
Yeah.
Even poorer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we encourage the replayability anyway.
Yeah.
Like you just play through the game again, earn more money.
That's
do all the things you missed
it's
the first time around.
another nostalgic, kind of old game thing. Like you
Mm.
play through it, you try your best to get everything, you don't get everything, so you play through it again, and you try to get everything, and I think that's more than enough replayability, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And even on that as well, like Garth put in a really cool system towards the end of development for replaying where you have like a checkpoint system you can spawn in from. So when you fire up and have a look at previous levels, it'll actually show you like start from this area, this area, or this area, and it'll show you which goals and cards you can actually get from each starting point as well. So it's not like we're forcing you to replay the entire level from start to finish. Like you can just spawn in,
skip to the different
do what you need
checkpoints.
to do. Yeah, and then once you've got the achievement, hit a save point, get out, and move on.
Mm.
And you get really that's fantastic.
We tried to
that is really cool. Okay.
we tried
Yeah,
to
I
have
like
the levels as backtrackable by choice so you can go and find secrets, but unfortunately there's just certain points we had to lock the player in for performance reasons and stuff, but no, deep down, if we could, we'd let you just run all over the joint.
From beginning to end. Yeah, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do as a small team. You guys achieved quite a bit, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool, old school design principles in there that are pretty cool. I think a lot of people like. And I guess as far as themes go and stuff, you guys dungeon. You said circus and
Carnival, Swamp Planet, Desert Planet.
So much variety.
Yeah, we want the player to sort of like never know what's coming up. You know, so it's you start the next level and you're in a completely different environment. Then you're like, oh shit, I got to keep playing.
Yeah, and definitely like the level layouts and level variety of each level. Like there's never a repeated layout. Like it's never. I don't think I've ever seen one thing that looked even remotely identical as far as like the way the level looks, feels, or plays out. So I mean,
it's all bespoke. So
yeah. Well, I think it's almost about time to wrap up. Wonderful having you guys on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
it's good to have a chat.
Of course, I'd love to have you guys on any other time, individually or all of you. I was originally only expecting one, and then I got 3, so that works. So.
Get the whole gang.
Hey, it was great having you guys on. It was great discussing Bears in Space and many other things. Of course, where can we find all you guys on Twitter or whatnot? Do you guys all have individual Twitters or X, whatever?
Twitter. Yeah, I've got I think one's like _ Gman Garth, maybe.
I think
we don't use it very often.
Yeah, we're not the most socialist of social users or whatever. Like we just rather be making and playing games and tweeting.
Yeah, we're not very good at social
I know
media.
you have the Broadside, which is where I was talking to John.
Broadside Twitter. Yeah.
Yours,
and then that's about it.
Okay.
This is the part that we always fumble in interviews. We can never remember what anything's called.
Oh, it's all good. You guys
I think mine
were awesome.
_ Gman Garth.
Yeah, I think it's something. It's G-Man Garth something. Yeah.
Everyone
I saw that and I thought it was kind of funny.
You'll make your way to Bears eventually.
Yeah.
Because it was right. You followed me after I was talking to John, and it was right before I did the G-Man interview, and I was like, he's also a G-Man.
Super fan.
I didn't copy G-Man.
Sure.
It's just my name.
It's okay.
With G. So.
Sure.
It's just a living tribute to him.
Yeah.
What's the G-Man's first name? Is it Garth as well?
Oh, didn't ask, actually. I now regret not asking.
Yeah, I have to find out.
Actually,
If
I
he's
don't know.
earned,
I feel like
earned the moniker.
if it is Garth, it's gonna be funny. But
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah. Anyway, it was great having you guys. You guys were awesome. You know, sure there's a million other things we could probably talk about, but I feel like there's quite a bit that we were able to pack into this.
It was good.
I'm looking forward to playing some more Bears in Space and beating it and replaying it, so I can get all the other stuff that I missed, because I think I missed a pretty good bit.
Man.
Yeah, it's definitely easy to miss some things. So
Yeah. Some of it's pretty well hidden. Wait, before I go, I saw you guys put something about like hidden aliens or something like that. Wasn't that what that was?
Yeah, there's one in each level. We haven't found any yet, or
Hell no. I haven't even found one.
oh
Big
man,
fan.
I have
You got 15.
no idea where
15 or
those are.
16 to find.
to be fair, I don't know where most of them are either. Like I've seen some people post screenshots. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
that's a really clever spot to put one.
Well, like
Yeah.
I saw one of you. Was it you, Garth, that posted it, or was it the Broadside? It might have been the Broadside one. Yeah.
John did that
And I
yesterday.
was like, what? Aliens? And it says every level, and I'm like, I found none.
Yeah,
What are
Garth
you talking
animated
about?
that on
Yeah.
the the old dancing baby GIF.
Yeah.
The whole, that's
yeah,
what-
It's off of that.
Took me like half a day to steal that animation. Had to keep like frame by frame animate that stupid little Mexican alien.
That is wow. That is funny. That's
Yeah.
wow.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
it took 7 years.
This
Yeah.
the aliens. The alien.
Yeah.
And there was so much more stuff like that they got cut as well. So
Yeah.
the
You
whole
add on
dancing
top of that,
stuff.
like the side missions, the aliens, the cards. There's a lot.
All sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. I'm gonna hop off. I'll talk to you guys later. All of you have a good rest of your evening. Is that right?
Yeah. The rest of the day.
Good
It's just the
afternoon.
Arvo here.
Yeah, lunchtime.
It's about midnight for me. So
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
far out. Well, thanks for doing
Opposite
this.
end.
yeah, no problem. I gotta go to work
Thanks
in a
for
few
the
hours. No.
spotlights on Bears too.
Oh, cool. Do what?
Just thanks for all the spotlights on Bears too. It's
Yeah.
very appreciated.
I'm
Yeah. Thank you.
trying hard. I really like the game. I want to try to get as many people to play it as possible. Truly.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully, once I beat it, I'll just I'll get a full video out on it or something. I'll figure something out.
That'd be cool.
Tag us.
Keen to see it.
Will do.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
Awesome.
man.
Catch you later.
See ya.